Hello everyone, welcome to Bab Fashion's YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful flared top, which is a combination of lace and Ankara. This is what it looks like on the back. You can see it has a slit opening at the back. This is to actually help the head easily pass. And this has a balloon sleeves also. I hope this is something you are interested in learning. Kindly stay tuned while we get right into the tutorial. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please kindly hit on the subscription box to subscribe. Subscription is free. Thank you, and let's get started. So here are the materials we're going to be using to achieve this top. I have 1.5 yard of this sample lace fabric, and I also have my Ankara fabric. So next we're going to go ahead and fold our fabric to begin drafting. So you can see I've spread out my Ankara on the table. So next you want to fold it on bias. Just take note of the way I'm folding it. Can you see? I'm not folding this straight. Can you see that the upper part, that's the wrapper, the way I folded it, the upper part is slightly longer than the part that is under. It's about 5 or 6 inches longer than the part that is under. So you want to fold it in a slanted way. That's folding on bias. And then by doing that, you'll notice that the down part is going to be wider. This is to actually achieve the flared look. Can you see? So I repeat myself, the upper part is slightly longer. I folded it slantly so that the down part can give me that wider look to achieve our flare. So the next thing we want to do now is to enter our shoulder measurement at the upper part. So next we're just going to go ahead and draw our shoulder line, and then we'll begin to enter our markings. Okay, I haven't drawn the shoulder line. Next, I'm going to enter half of the shoulder measurement plus half inch for joining the sleeve. Half of our shoulder measurement is 7 plus half inch, that's 7.5. So next, I'm going to mark the neck width on the shoulder line. I'm marking a neck width of 3 inches. So I'll go to the shoulder measurement there and mark 1 inch to create my shoulder slant. So I went down at the shoulder measurement by 1 inch and I'm connecting it to the neck width. So next I'll come down by the armhole measurement. Our armhole measurement, you divide the bust by 6 plus 1.5, that will give you the armhole measurement. And in this case, that is 7.5. So placing my tape from the shoulder slant, I'm going to come down by 7.5. So where I have my 7.5, I'll reconfirm my 7.5, which is on the shoulder. That's half of the shoulder measurement plus half inch. This is to achieve a straight line that will connect to the shoulder line. Can you see that? So now I've connected it to the shoulder line. Okay. So now we have our armhole line, which is also known as the chest line. So next I'll get the midpoint of this armhole line here, which is going to be 3¾ and then I'll go in by half of an inch. This is to just curve the armhole to give it that nice shape. So I'm going to, at that half inch, I'll connect it to the shoulder tip and then I'll create the armhole curve, placing my curve this way. Can you see what we have? So this armhole now is the back armhole. So I'm going to, at this same point where I have the midpoint of the armhole, I'll go in by 3/4 of an inch to create the front armhole. I'm drafting for both front and back at the same time. So I went in by 3/4 of an inch. I connected it back to the shoulder tip and then I'm curving it. So the first armhole is the first armhole is the back armhole, while the second is the front armhole. So I haven't done that. I'm going to mark my neck width, which I've already done, which is 3.5. So for the back neck depth, I'm using 1 inch. And then for the front neck depth, I'll be using the same 3 inches. That's 3 by 3. Remember that I marked a neck width of 3 inches. So the neck depth also is 3 inches for the front. So I haven't drawn that. Now the next thing I want to do is to enter the bust measurement on the chest line. So I'm going to be entering 1/4 of the bust measurement, which is quarter of the bust measurement, plus 2 inches. So next I'm just going to go ahead and measure the length of this flared top, and I want a total length of 30 inches. So take note of where my tape is placed. I placed it on the topmost part of the shoulder, on the shoulder line there, and I'm marking my 30 inches plus hemming allowance. So that will give me a total of 32 inches. So I'm making sure to place my tape at that shoulder tip there, and then I'm going ahead to mark. So I'm using a total length of 32 inches. This is plus my hemming allowance and all. So can you see how the line is? So of course the line is not going to be straight, considering that I didn't fold straight. So you know it's going to give us that curvy look. So next I'm going to connect from that point to the chest line, which is also the armhole line. Can you see? So I didn't talk about hip measurement, neither did I talk about waist measurement. All I need to do is to connect from that down part to the chest line, that which is also the armhole line. So this is what we have. So now I'll bring in my scissors to cut them out. I'll be cutting on all the back. The back neckline is higher, and also the front neckline and the front armhole is narrower. So I'm just going to cut on the all the back points. So this is what we have after cutting out our back piece. Can you see how the down part just opens up nicely? And see, so I'm just going to fold this fabric over and place it on the folded fabric and trace out exactly the same thing that will now serve as the back before we'll go ahead and cut the front neckline and the back neckline. So as you can see, I have cut the second piece, which is what is under. So I'm just going to shift it away now and cut the front neckline. So can you see me cutting my front neckline? Next, I'm also going to trim the remaining part, which is the 1/4 inch I have on the armhole, to actually make it the front armhole, which is what I have done already. So can you see? So let's just open it up so that we can see. So this is what our front now looks like, and this is our back placed on top of it. Can you see? So now we have our front and back ready. So we'll go ahead now and bring in. So next we'll be doing is to draft our basic sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric into two, just like this. Next I'm going to fold into four. This is to enable me draft for both sleeves at the same time. I haven't done that. I'm going to draw the starting line of the sleeve. So you want to make sure that the fabric you are folding is enough to give you the armhole measurement. The armhole of my client is 7.5, so plus 2 inches for sewing allowance, that would be 9.5. You want to make sure that the fabric you folded is up to that 9.5. So I've drawn my starting line. From the starting line, I'll come down by the cap's height of my client, which is 3.5. And how did I come about 3.5? I divided her bust by 12 plus half inch, and that gave me 3.5. So from the calf's height line, I came down by 2 inches, and that's the point where I'll be entering her upper round arm. And you see, and so next I'll come down by the sleeve length of 12 inches plus half inch for sewing, joining the sleeve to the balloon. So that gave me a total of 12.5. So now on the cap's height line, I'm going to enter the armhole measurement, which is 7.5. So can you see? This is my 7.5 here. So I'm just going to use a slanted line to connect it to the shoulder, that's to the the starting point. I haven't done that. I'm going to measure that line and get the midpoint. So you can see now that it's a slanted line. That's about 8.5. So I folded it in my tape into two. So now I have the midpoint. I'll equally get the midpoint of the upper part now of this slanted line. So just by folding my tape into two again. So I have the midpoint here, and then I'll come down to the down part of this slanted line and also mark the midpoint. So at the upper part of the midpoint, I'll go up by half of an inch. Can you see? And then at the down part of the midpoint, I'll go down by half of an inch. Just watch carefully what I'm doing, you'll get it right. So I want to connect with a curved line at the tip of the sleeve and to the half inch, and then also to the midpoint. So can you see? I'm using my, you can also use your free hand to do this. So you can see me placing my curve. I want to connect these 3 points together. I want to make sure that you place your curve in a way that the 3 points will connect at once. So can you see that? So can you see? It just creates an arc shape. So I'm going to be repeating the same thing at the down part of the sleeve. So I'm just going to connect it like this. And you see, I'm just pointing at the point. The side points will be connecting. So I'm going to connect it right away. And then, can you see? So now we now have the upper part of our sleeve, which is the sleeve cap there. So next we'll enter the sewing allowance already. So we already have our measurement. So we'll go ahead and enter the sewing allowance. So at the upper round arm line, I'll enter half of her upper round arm and then plus 2 inches. Can you see that? Okay, I'll connect it to the sleeve cap there, and then here at the elbow measurement, I'll enter half of the elbow measurement plus my 2 inches, and I'll also connect it to the side there. So I'll bring in my scissors and cut out this basic sleeve. Is that simple? So this is our basic sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark the wrong side of the sleeve to indicate that this is the wrong side. So next we're going to go ahead and cut the balloon that will be attaching to the down part of the sleeve. And with this now you can see I have the fabric. It's just a straight fabric. I multiplied the elbow measurement by 3. So you just want to multiply by 3. So and that's why I have about 32 inches here. So you can see it's a straight fabric. And then the length I have here, it's about 12 inches. And I have two of them. Of course, one will be for the right and the other will be for the left. So this is the fabric I'll be using to achieve the balloon at the down part of the sleeve. So the next thing we'll be doing is to cut the lace that we'll be placing on our Ankara fabric. And here I folded my fabric into two. I'll be cutting the part that will be sewn to the front neckline. So as you can see, I've placed my Ankara also on top of the lace. I'm just going to go ahead and trace out the neckline. So I'll bring in my scissors and trace out the neckline like this, and then also the shoulders. So from the shoulder tip, that's towards the armhole area, I'll come down by 4 inches. And you see, so from the shoulder tip here, I'm going to come down by 4 inches here. I'll mark my 4 inches and then trace out the armhole at that point up to the 4 inches mark I have there. So once I've done that, from the center front of the neckline, I'll come down by 5.5 inches at that point. And then I'll bring in my curved ruler to connect from that 4 inches I have at the armhole side to the center front. So can you see the sweetheart shape I have here? Just going to bring in my scissors and cut it out also. So here now we have the lace we'll be placing on the front part of our flared top. I'm just going to place the lace on top of it so that we can see what it looks like. So here we are, and you see. So having done this, so the next thing we want to do now is to cut the lace that will give us the V shape we saw at the beginning of this video. And here I've also ironed my fabric, so I have my center line. This is the point where I have the center front, which is forming the crease line, because that V shape has to align with the center line. So here I've cut out pieces of my fabric. I have two pieces at this point. The length is 6 inches and the width is actually wider than the measurement from the center front all the way to the side. So can you see my crease line here, which is the center front, the point you saw me pointing at? So I'm just placing my lace from the tip of the armhole, that's from the base of the armhole. Can you see? I want to achieve this V shape. So this is what I want to achieve once I'm done. So I'm just going to pick the lace and place it over it like this. So I'll now go ahead and mark the center line. So I'll bring in my chalk and do that so that we can see what we have. So you can see our crease line there. So I'll mark our center line here. This is me just using my chalk to trace it out. Can you see what I'm doing? So I will now cut it out. So by placing it this way, it makes it a lot easier for you to achieve the V. You will notice that the amount of fabric leaving the down part and the upper part, they are different. So this is what will actually help me to achieve that V shape. So I'll just lift up the other part. Can you see how my V shape just comes out so easily? Can you see? So this is what I have. So I'm going to be repeating the same thing for the others. So what I'll be doing, I'll go ahead and join this fabric together at that center. I'll sew them together, I'll stitch them together at this point before I come and place it on top of my lace. So I'm going to be cutting the others. Exactly what I did here is what I will do to achieve the second one, and also do the same thing to achieve for the back pieces. So I went ahead to cut my lining because I'll be lining this top, and I made my lining 1 inch shorter. Can you see? This is 1 inch shorter at the hem area, and this is also the same thing as the back. So for the back, I slashed my lining open. That's by 6 inches. This is to allow the head pass. So I'm going to be having button at this part. So you can see this place is open, and this is the back piece. Remember, the neckline is high so that the head can easily pass. So now I'll keep this aside. I'll come in with my main fabric, that's the Ankara fabric. So here is our front piece, and this is the center front. So you can see my crease line. So now I'll bring in my lace fabric and place it on the neckline. Can you see? I'll place it on the neckline like this, so you can see how the sweetheart shape aligns with the center. So I'll need to iron in 1/2 inch like this. That's, you want to neatly finish the rough edges here. So I'll iron in 1/2 inch like this. You see? I'll press it this way. You see, I pressed this side. So you also need an ironing wood. So you need an ironing wood like this, so it will have a way of keeping down your crease lines properly, or your pressing. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So now I'll also fold in 1/2 inch like I'm doing here also. So, and then I'll press it. So can you see the shape I have here? So my sweetheart neckline shape, or the sweetheart shape, comes out perfectly. So right now I need my hemming gun to help stick it down here before I take it to my sewing machine and stitch it down. So I just cut my hemming gum and then place it under like this. You want to make sure that the hemming gum is neatly concealed under. You don't want the hemming gum to touch, that's the gum to touch the surface of your iron. So I also do this here. You see? So, so once I put my hemming gum in place, make sure that you push the hemming gum completely inside so that some part of it is not coming outside. That's B, after the lace, so that it doesn't stain your iron. So now I'll make sure that my steam is coming out well enough, and then I'll just drop it on it so that it can release enough steam on it. So it is the steam that will help the hemming gum to dissolve properly. You don't want to see whitish stuff under the lace. So I have successfully pressed my lace to the Ankara fabric. So you can see it's no longer removing. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and stitch it so that it can last longer, because the truth is hemming gum, when you wash for some time, it can start pulling off. So you want to make sure that you secure it with a stitch here. So next I'll bring in the other pieces of my lace I'll be using to form the V shape. Take note that I have joined them together, can you see? And I've ironed it opened. So next I'll place it like this. So this is the first lace, maintaining my crease line. That's the center front line here. So I'll place it this way. Can you see that? So I've placed it this way. So you want to fold in this 1/2 inch here also, because you don't want to leave the rough parts outside. So if this is going to be difficult for you, you need to fold this 1/2 inch first, like this way, and like this, before joining them together. But that means you'll be seeing something like this if you don't neatly cover it up well. But I prefer to do it this way because I can handle it well. So like I said, just create your V shape. It's not hard. It's not hard. Can you see? Already I have created my V shape already. So I'll just bring in my pressing iron also and press it. You see? So I have my V shape. So you want to confirm what measurement you have here and here so that it is aligned. You don't want here to be 3 inches and here will be 4 inches. So here now, from the previous, that's from the yoke I have here, I have 3 inches here on this side. So I'll measure here. So you can see that I have a little, okay, it's about 3 inches, so you can see that it's the same thing. So 3 inches, so you can see the center. So even from looking at it, you can see that they are looking equal. So after doing that, now at the down part, I'm going to also fold it to form the V shape also. So I'll make sure to also follow, to put into consideration my crease line. That's the center front here. So I'm just going to fold it over like this. The idea is to fold one side first, so this makes it a lot easier. So you just come in with your wood so that it keeps it in place. So with this wood, you'll see that whatever you iron will just remain the way you want it to remain. So here now, I'll also fold this side like this to make sure that I form my V shape. Can you see? So you can see how the V shape is perfectly coming out. So can you see? So you can see that I have my perfect V shape. So exactly what I did here, I'm going to bring in my hemming gum and stick it. So I'll be doing this on fourth side. I'll do it here and then here also. So I'll do that and then also place the second piece of the lace, just exactly the same thing. And I'll repeat the same thing for the back also.
but the back will not have this yoke. And then I'll show us the next thing to do. Okay, so as you can see, after using my hemming gum to gum my lace down, I went ahead to stitch it down. So I've stitched all of them, and then this is also the neckline. I stitched it down. So here is the front side and the back side. That's the back. You can see I also stitched it down. Like I said, that your hemming gum, when you wash, it can easily start removing, so you don't want to have that kind of problem. So that's why I stitched it. But the essence of that hemming gum is to hold it in place so that when you are sewing, it doesn't shift and give you any roughness anywhere. You can see that this looks very beautiful. So I did exactly the same thing on the sleeves. Here on the sleeve, I just placed it slanted, as you can see, and I've also gone ahead to attach my balloon. Remember, I said I was going to be gathering the balloon up and down. So after gathering it up and down, I placed them on fold. This is what I mean. This, let's say this is my fabric. I gathered it this way, and I also gathered this way. So after gathering this way, I placed it like this together, making sure that is the measurement I have on the elbow of my sleeve, and then I went ahead to stitch it. Can you see? So that's what is giving it this fullness around here. If you do that, it will actually make it full. Can you see? So, and then I went ahead to sew my lining, so you can see that all my stitches are hidden inside. Everything is looking neat. So I placed my lace directly on the fabric, top stitched it, and then I went ahead to turn the neckline with my lining. And then you can also see the hem. I turned the hem, turned the side, so I brought it out from the armhole. Can you see? So you can see that it's the armhole that is still looking rough. So now the next thing I need to do is just to go to my my weaving machine and weave the armhole. Then I'll shape this blouse and it is ready. I'll show us what it looks like on the mannequin.
Okay, so this is what our flared top looks like. Can you see how beautiful it came out? The flare is just really beautiful. It's not too big, not too small. You see how it is? This is what it looks like on the back. And you see, everything came out really, really nice. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did enjoy watching this video, please like this video, share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And also put on your notification bell so you get notified once I post a new video. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.